So in this video, we're going to talk about animal virus infection. So how animal viruses and human viruses attack the host. So remember, animal viruses could be enveloped or non-enveloped, or otherwise known as naked. They could also be DNA. They could have DNA as their genetic material. They could have single-stranded DNA, which is very weird. Or they could have regular old double-stranded DNA. They could also have RNA as their genetic material, and they could have single-stranded RNA, which is what we would expect. They could have single-stranded RNA, which is positive sense, and I'll explain that in a second. That's a normal RNA. Or they could have single-stranded RNA that is negative sense, which would be weird. Some viruses do have this. Or they could be super weird viruses and they can have double-stranded RNA. One thing key about the RNA viruses is they need to have a special enzyme that they bring with them into the host. And you're going to find out in a minute that enzyme is called replicase. So RNA viruses need to bring or have a copy of replicase with them. And the one exception to this is the retroviruses. An example of a retrovirus, which you guys are familiar with, is the human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV. Retroviruses don't have replicase. Instead, they have reverse transcriptase. So retroviruses are actually positive sense RNA viruses with reverse transcriptase instead of replicase. So this is going to come into play all throughout the stages of the infection. Okay, so the first stage of animal virus infection is adsorption. And this is a fancy word meaning attachment. So this is very simple. Most animal viruses have spikes. And remember, the spikes will attach to a specific host cell receptor. And remember, they're very specific to where they attach. So for example, the hepatitis virus will attach to liver cells. HIV will attach to helper T cells. Rabies virus can attach to multiple mammalian cells. So here's some pictures of attachment. This first one is an enveloped virus, and you can see the spikes attaching to the host cell receptor. And the second picture is a naked virus, but it also has spikes that are attaching to the host. Once the cell has attached, the second step, step 2, is penetration. For animal viruses, the complete nucleocapsid is going to penetrate into the cell. And there's 2 types of penetration. We could either have fusion, and fusion is pictured in this first picture here. Only enveloped viruses can do fusion. So this is only enveloped. So you can see here, the enveloped virus attaches to the receptor. And basically what happens is the envelope is going to fuse with the plasma membrane of the host. And then over here you can see the nucleocapsid enters. Once the nucleocapsid enters, the genetic material is uncoated from the capsid. So here we have uncoating, which is basically the release of the DNA or the RNA. So release of the genetic material. Okay, so the second form of penetration is endocytosis. What this means is basically the cell engulfs the virus. And both enveloped and naked viruses can enter this way. All right, and this is the only way that naked viruses can enter. So here in picture B, you can see the cell is engulfing an enveloped virus. Once the enveloped virus enters the cell, then again, the capsid and the envelope are going to break apart, and we're going to release the genetic material into the cell. In the second picture, you can see this is a naked virus. It doesn't have an envelope. Okay, it's still going to attach to the host, and then again, the host is going to engulf it. All right, and down here you see it's been engulfed. And then eventually again, the genetic material is going to exit and be released into the cell. So step 3 is actually uncoating which you can see happens in all three of these pictures. The genetic material is uncoated from the capsid. Okay, now step 4. 4 is synthesis. And what this means is synthesis of more viral particles. So more viral particles need to be made. Now I'm going to review with you something that you definitely have learned in biology before, but you may have forgot. Okay, and that's the central dogma. And that states that DNA is going to code for messenger RNA, which is going to code for proteins. Okay, and remember, proteins are essentially the building blocks of the virus. Now, the mRNA that codes for proteins, this has to be the positive sense strand of mRNA. So, no matter what type of virus it is, it always is going to need to make this positive sense strand of mRNA in order to make proteins, to make more capsid, to make more spikes. Okay, so this is where we need to get. For DNA viruses, it's very easy. They're just going to use this order of events, okay? They're going to go from DNA, they're going to make their mRNA, and then they're going to make proteins. So DNA viruses are simple. The positive sense RNA viruses are also pretty simple. Because they already have positive sense mRNA, okay, they can use that replicase enzyme. They can make it right away. They can use it to make even more positive sense mRNA. And from there, they can make the proteins they need. The negative sense or the double-stranded RNA viruses, they need to go from negative and use that replicase that they brought in with them to make positive sense mRNA. And from there, they can make their protein that they need. Now, this is important because something important to tell you, replicase makes a lot of mistakes, okay? It has no proofreading. So, like when you write a paper, you're going to proofread it to make sure there's no mistakes. Replicase doesn't do that. It has no proofreading, so it makes a lot of errors, makes mistakes. So therefore, there are a lot of mutations in these negative sense RNA viruses. So mutations happen a lot. For example, the flu virus, influenza, that's a negative sense RNA virus. And as you guys know, every year the flu virus mutates a little bit. That's why you have to get a new flu shot every year. The reason it mutates is because of this replicase enzyme. It makes a lot of errors and it changes a little bit every year. And we have a name for this, we call it antigenic drift. So antigenic drift is basically when the virus slightly changes every year. Okay, so only viruses have this unique enzyme. Human cells do not have it. That's why the virus needs to bring its own copy. Now, there's one last type of virus, and that's called a retrovirus. And the one that we will talk about the most in this class is HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus. HIV is a positive sense RNA virus, but what's weird about it is it actually is going to make DNA from RNA. So it's going to go backwards. It goes from positive mRNA to DNA, back to positive mRNA, and then from there it makes its proteins. So if you look up here, you can see in a normal cell, DNA goes to mRNA, but in a retrovirus, it goes backwards. That's what retro means, reverse, okay? It goes from mRNA to DNA. So retroviruses have a special enzyme that allows them to do this, and that enzyme is called reverse transcriptase. And when we start talking about HIV later in the semester, you're going to see that retroviruses will actually insert a copy of their genetic material, the DNA that they've made, into the host cell. And this is what causes HIV to be a lifelong infection. Okay, so now we're in the synthesis stage. We have definitely made our positive sense mRNA, and from there we can make our proteins. So the virus will make more copies of its capsid, it'll make more copies of its nucleic acid, and now we're on to step 5, which is assembly, and that's simply the virus is, the new virions are going to assemble And then the last step, step 6, is release. Okay, and this is where the virus exits the host. And just like we had 2 types of penetration, we also have 2 types of release. The one pictured here, this is called budding, or you could call it exocytosis, same thing. Only enveloped viruses can exit this way. In this type of exit, the virus actually is going to go right up to the cell membrane of its host, and it's actually going to pick up a piece of the cell membrane. As you can see here, it buds out, it picks up a piece of the cell membrane. This becomes the envelope. So the cell membrane of the host will actually become the envelope of the virus. Now, even though the virus is technically not bursting the cell open here, the cell is going to be very sick. The cell is sick, so the cell is probably still going to die in this type of an infection. The second type of release is lysis, and this is usually done by a naked virus. And basically in this case, the virus will lyse the cell, it lyses the host, or basically it pops it open, and then several hundreds of new virions are released. Okay, so those are the stages of animal virus infection. I hope this helps, and thanks for listening, guys.